Okay, hello. Yeah, right, Robert. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Disabilities Redefined. I am Dr. Truett Wagner, and we have two very, very special guests for you this evening. First, we have Kristina Aran. Hello, Kristina. Hi. So good to see you. Kristina is my colleague, and we actually were at a meeting this morning, and then we walked over to the studio, and we've been very busy getting things ready because we have our first Skype interview, as you all can see, with Robert Hoyt. Am I saying it right, Robert? Hoyt?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, who is a up-and-coming artist. And now, Robert, what do you call yourself right away? So if people out there watching want to go to your Instagram page, what is it?
Two Blind Mice Art? Okay. It's hashtag Two Blind Mice Art.
Okay.
And I'm the blind artist of Pennsylvania, because there's also a blind artist in Seattle, and he and I are friends as well. So
okay.
That's my brand.
Great, great. And now you have done a lot of press right here lately, haven't you?
Yes, I was on WNEP, an ABC affiliate. I was on the Sunday paper. And people are finding that what I do is inspirational, that I'm legally blind, yet I'm painting.
That is very inspirational. Okay, so, and Kristina actually is my colleague, CUNY LEADS Linking Employment, Academic and Disability Services Specialist within the City University of New York. But she also actually is a very successful author. She is the author of Words as Weapons, which, beautiful cover.
It's your copy.
Thank you so much.
And I signed it and all for you.
Yes, yes. We'll show a copy of this, and you have a Amazon, is it? How can people get a copy?
Yes, it's sold on Amazon.
Okay, all right. So let's just jump right into the interview. Robert, when did you first become interested in art?
Well, my story is a fascinating one. I became interested in art last March as a way of rehabilitating myself from congestive heart failure. The doctor said, "You're on the plane, you're about to die, go home and get your affairs in order." And so far, I've defied the odds. Wow. And I used painting as a way of bringing myself back to life.
Okay, now you say back to life. Now, a quick question. Were you always visually impaired, or did that happen?
It happened over time, Dr. T. I have type 1 diabetes, and slowly the optic nerves have been eaten away. I was declared legally blind in August of 2012.
August 2012? And
yes.
How old were you? Do you mind me asking how old you were at that time?
I was 48 years old.
48, okay. All right, August 2012, that's that we have a special, that was the year that within the City University, yes, absolutely, that must be a special year, Robert.
No such thing as coincidence.
Well, let me tell you, that was the year that myself and Kristina and a handful of other hardworking counselors for the disabled population, we became up until that time we had been working on a grant within the City University of New York. And August 12th, August 2012. I believe the exact date was August 6th, I believe. But
it's God's way of staying anonymous, all these coincidences.
Absolutely. And we became CUNY LEADS, in which I wanted to wear the T-shirt today to show everybody that we're still a group and working very hard. So
bigger than ever.
Bigger than ever now, actually, yes.
Congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
So you're a sketch artist, but now, Robert, you also do a lot of work as far as writing and Now, what is this that I see? It's kind of like a poetry kind of thing. You do these.
Well, I love to inspire people with basic quips. I was a doctoral student before this happened. Wow, so I'm fairly well educated, and I was also a psychotherapist for almost 30 years.
Wow.
So this kind of fits with what I used to do. So what I try to inspire other people, put together quotes. And that feels like it gives me a sense of purpose.
Well, I think it does, and we love your work. And actually, it was funny because I was speaking to Kristina one night on Instagram, or not speaking to, but communicating with Kristina here one night over Instagram, and she is the one who told me about you.
So a wonderful. I love the community. Yes. I love the fact that we can connect in this way. And Kristina is an artist and an author, and I feel like I'm a part of a beautiful community of people who are expressing themselves in
Yes.
ways that are genuine.
I think it is very genuine. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Well, I brought this just to show you, this is where I get my initial inspiration from, and that is from Helen Keller, who herself is an author of 12 books and graduated from Radcliffe College. And she is my inspiration. She's saying to me the same thing, don't let things stop you. And she was born deaf, dumb, and blind.
Right.
And I've had over 48 years of being visual and able to see. So I think that's who I really take my hat off to, which is Helen Keller.
Right. Right. Okay, well, what do you think is going to happen with all this artwork? Are you planning on showing it in a gallery? Do you want to do something specifically for New York City, Soho?
Well, I'd love to be down in Dumbo. I'd
Yes.
love to bring that to the flea markets and that. So people out here in Pennsylvania, they say, "Oh my God, your stuff would blow up if you got into New York." But it's not so easy for me to do so. I've already had a number of showings at Barnes and Nobles, etc. I don't really want to go into traditional galleries. So my hope is, if I gave you an example, I actually hand-delivered a Jerry Seinfeld sketch to Jerry Seinfeld. And that's a beautiful opportunity. And he's out of Manhattan, I believe, right?
Now, you did a sketch for Jerry Seinfeld, and you delivered it to him to his apartment?
No, he came here to the Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And he was doing a comedy show.
Oh, wow.
And it was great. It was gracious enough, and so that's a beautiful thing. So when I think about what I call famous faces, I basically do landscapes as well. I was inspired by Bob Ross, who was on Netflix. And my joke is I was paying $7.99 a month for my art teacher.
Right.
And that was Netflix.
Oh,
and Bob Ross, he's inspired me to use a house painting brush to do wonderful landscapes. And people know who I'm talking about when I talk about the guy with the big afro.
Right.
He's a beautiful man.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to come back to you in a few minutes. So now we want to ask Kristina a few questions, and then we'll wind it up with a group question. Hey, Kristina, how are you?
Great.
So, Kristina, you're Russian.
Yes, originally from Russia.
Russia. Now, you came, if I'm understanding it correctly, you came here when you were 16?
Yes.
Okay, we spoke about this earlier today, but you said it was not you just didn't, it just didn't happen overnight. It was a process.
It was not an easy transition.
Okay.
It took years until we were able to come here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But
It was one of the toughest parts, I would say, of my teen years,
Uh-huh.
the immigration itself, because everything just changed,
Mm-hmm.
and it was no longer the same life. So you
Right.
just have to adjust quickly and kind of make quick decisions. You no longer feel like you're a kid anymore. You kind of had to grow up overnight.
Yes.
pretty
You mean when you
much.
came to when you got to
Yes.
America? Yeah. Well, it was a culture shock, right?
It was a huge culture shock, and I was at the age where I kind of was like, do I start working? Do I go to school? What do I do?
Well, if I'm understanding it correctly, you got here at 16. You did not go to high school. You went right into
Straight to
college.
college.
Right. But you did spend a few of your teen years in Russia.
Well, yeah, I mean, but there were no opportunities there for
Right.
me. You know, I
Okay.
kind of was lost, and I was dreaming to come to U.S.
Yeah,
because I
we
knew-
spoke about that today. You were like, everybody wanted to come to America.
The American
and you
dream,
also
yeah.
said that everybody followed popular music, pop culture over in. What was big at the time? Who was it? Who were some of the big people? Because I'm a little bit older than you, so
Well,
yeah.
we did listen to a lot. We watched like videos on TV, and we would be excited.
Like
this was
MTV, did you guys get that over there?
I think so. I think there was an MTV, but for us it was like a treat.
Yes.
It would happen like once in a while, and we were like, "Oh yes!" you know,
Oh,
it was
really?
like
Oh,
Janet
no.
Jackson,
Oh, yeah.
Madonna, and MC Hammer.
MC. No, MTV was in every dorm room here in America. Yeah, that's interesting then. It was like a TV show there then.
It was.
Right. But now you, a CUNY LEADS counselor.
Yeah.
So you did your BA, you did your undergraduate work at the City University within a campus here. What, Queens College was? Queens
yeah.
College? But now you did your master's at NYU, both of which in psychology. Okay, and then now you're working now with the disabled population.
Yes.
And do you like it? Do you like
I
what
love
you
it. I mean, I always was interested in the study of the mind, you know, and for me, it's just, you know, how does the mind operate? What happens to people when they become mentally ill? Like, what is it exactly that's happening? And there were some personal things that happened in my life as well that inspired me to study psychology.
Right.
When we came here, unfortunately, my mom had to go through depression.
Right.
Because she had a really bad culture shock. And, you know, they come as adults, they leave so much stuff behind, and they kind of want to give us a better life. And because of that, they go through a much harder time, which we don't realize how hard it is for them.
You mean families coming
Yes,
from Russia?
our parents.
Yeah,
we
parents,
are able to adjust quicker because we're still kids.
Yes.
But
That's
for
a good
them,
point. That's a very
most
good-
of their life has already, you know, been in Russia.
Right.
So I didn't know how to help her. I didn't know what to do.
And you
I
also
wanted-
said you're limited with your language as well.
I came here pretty much speaking like just basic maybe English, and I was terrified of speaking English. I knew that I had a horrible accent. I knew that people would not understand me. Like whenever I would pick up a phone and someone would speak in English, I had no idea what they were saying.
Right.
And my sister would always tell me, you just have to go and talk to them. Just, you know, you got to have the guts to go come up to people and start talking. I'm like, I can't, I'm so scared. But when I started, for the first college that I went to was Queensborough Community College. And the reason I started there because, you know, I needed to get some basic English skills, and they really helped me out. I have like a special place in my heart for Queensborough Community College. And then after that, when I already transferred to Queens College, I was good to go. I'm like, I love education, I love being in school here. And I assimilated very quickly into American culture. I really enjoyed it. I was so happy to be here. And I told myself, never going back to Russia. I don't even want to go to visit.
Right, but you also said that even at an early age, you loved the creativity. You loved writing and music, and you said you started writing at very early in life.
I was 12 years old.
12 years old, right. Well, the book, Words as Weapons, tell us a little bit about this. What's
So, you know, this was my lifelong dream. And I had a lot of scribbles that, you know, I brought from Russia. I used to write in Russian before. But of course, once I started speaking English more, once I assimilated into the culture, my language changed, the ideas changed, and my inspiration changed. So I always say that everything in life inspires you. People are inspired by love, they're inspired by friends, by relationships, by pain most of the time. So for me, to get through things in life, I have to write about them. I have to put it in writing in order for me to get through it, in order for me to feel it, and in order for me to understand it and comprehend what's going on.
Right.
So a lot of poetry that's in my book, I actually put dates on it if you look at it. For each poem, there's a certain date. So if someone knows me very well, and there's not that many people who know me very well, they would know exactly what was happening with me when I wrote that poem. So it's more like sort of a diary, I would say, put into like a poetry
very
and a free
personal.
verse. Yeah, it's very personal.
Well, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful cover.
It's very personal.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I can't wait to look into it. I read a lot of it on Instagram, and we'll let everybody know. Is your Instagram page Words as Weapons?
It's Kristina Aran.
Kristina. Okay.
Aran.
At Kristina.
Yeah, it's my name.
Great. Yeah, because you put a lot of your poetry on Instagram.
Yes.
Which brings us to and Robert, I think getting close to our final question. And that, of course, being social media. And what do we think of social media? I think social media is absolutely wonderful. I really do. You know, I'm wearing a cap. People keep asking what's going on. I've met so many wonderful people. And this young woman, she has her Love My Jeans line, which is Love My Jeans, Jeans, right? And it is amazing. She goes by the name of Wheelchair Rapunzel on Instagram. And she has started this line primarily, and I have her information right here, because she says in her own, and I think we'll probably edit in some photographs of her, and she's beautiful. She says, I developed Love Your Jeans one afternoon after some deep thinking about how I can create something that's meaningful to me and other people. I have a rare genetic condition called spinal muscular atrophy, SMA, which is a progressive neuromuscular disease that causes loss of strength muscle. I hardly ever Google SMA because the first thing you'll see is #1 genetic killer of infants. SMA is one of thousands of genetic disorders that people are affected by. I then began to choose to look at this as at what is considered a genetic flaw in a different way, whether it's having blue eyes, SMA, Down syndrome, etc. All of us are affected by our own unique genetic makeup, making each one of us our own thumbprint. That, of course, was taken from her website, which I think is a beautiful message. So I bought the cap, love my jeans. I don't know if we can get a up close. If we can, don't worry, we'll edit it in. And Kristina, I knew you were going to be here. She also has a bracelet with Love Your Jeans. She also has t-shirts, caps, but isn't this beautiful? Love Your Jeans. So
Wow.
that's for you.
Thank you.
Now don't tell our colleagues, because of course they all won't want it.
They're going to be so jealous. Thanks so much.
But you know, I found out about this beautiful young woman on social media. And Robert, I met you on social media.
Yeah.
And you know, if it was not for social media, the exposure that we are experiencing right now and the inspirations would not exist.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to see if you guys agreed with that, or do you think what is our opinion of social media?
I think it's an amazing platform where people can loudly speak about who they are. Mm-hmm. It gives them the opportunity to really create a brand. Like she has a brand.
Yes.
You know, Love Your Jeans. I have my own brand, although it's something separate from what I do for work specifically. But my brand, I've chosen it to be as an author, you know, about my book. And Robert has a brand as well. He's an artist. So, you know, people recognize it, people connect to it because when they're seeking for some kind of work on Instagram, you know, once you do a search, quickly everything pops up. And you can connect with such amazing people like within seconds.
Right.
So why not use it, you know, why not leverage your skills and why not connect with these amazing people? Why not?
Okay, and Robert?
I'm fascinated that I'm connected with people in Munich, Germany. I'm connected with people in Cologne.
Worldwide.
I'm connected all around the world, and I'm also inspiring young artists who are visually impaired as well.
Yes, very good
And I
point.
think I love being a role model to say, if I can do it, you can do it. Mm-hmm. That seems to be my #1 message.
That's
that
important.
we can't let things stop us. It's not what happens to you; it's what you do with it.
Exactly.
Right,
Love
exactly.
That. Love that.
It was a pleasure having you both on the show. Robert, I can't thank you enough. And listen, let's keep in touch
Thank you
on
very
Instagram,
much.
okay?
Pleasure meeting you, Kristina, in person, and I wish you the best with your poetry.
Thank you. That would be a pleasure. And thank you for your warm message.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Peace.
Okay, take care. And I think that about wraps us up. Everybody, we'll see you all in a few weeks. Find us on Instagram and Facebook and Words as Weapons. Robert Hoyt has a great collection, and hopefully, Robert, we'll see you in Soho at an art gallery very, very soon.
Thank you. That's my dream.
Take care. See you soon.
Fun.
That was great.